Magic 95, your #1 adult music station. That's People Bryson reaching for the sky. You're into the coffee break. I'm Lamar Freeman. I have a special guest in the control room with me this morning. I want to say hello, good morning to Mr. George Austin Rhynes.
How you doing, my beautiful brother? I'm glad to be back out at W.O.D, the swinginest gospel station and R&B in the nation.
Okay, thank you for that, my brother. Now, I understand that you want to kind of talk to people about your stuff that's going on.
Yes, sir. I thank you, first of all. I want to thank Miss Chaos. I met with her a few minutes ago, and we had a beautiful conversation. I appreciate the flavor of her taste and everything. I really appreciate the owner and operator of WGOV, and I'm looking forward to seeing if we can't make a connection here at the station for the good of our community. I was at the Democratic Party meeting last night, and we had a good dialogue. I also went to the NAACP meeting last night. But what I want to talk about this morning is I encourage all the people of Valdosta and South County and surrounding areas to introduce yourself to something called the Word on the Street. And the Word on the Street is nothing more than what you can find on Boston G.B.R. on the internet, on YouTube. And what it is information and news that you will not find in the mainstream media. For instance, it's dealing with Equipment 10 over in Brooks County in terms of the alleged voter fraud. Also, for instance, like in Douglas, Georgia, we had a fireman, black fireman, with noose was placed around his neck. And of course, the state president, Elbert DuBose, went over last month, and I journeyed over there with him. All this you can find on Boston G.B.R. channel on YouTube. Then we left there. We also been down to Port St. Joe in Florida to work with the biomass plant. We were successful in getting it stopped over there. We've also been down in Jacksonville with another environmental problem over there. Since I've been on radio, I met a lady that was at Harvey's, and she asked me, she said, "Brother Ryan, we miss you on the radio. We miss you terribly, and you need to get back on the radio." And so from that, and she said to me, "Why don't you," I said, "I'm doing the same thing." And she said, "What are you doing?" I told her, I said, "I'm doing the same thing I've always done." So she said, "Well, do you have it on cassette or DVD?" I said, "No, I don't, but that's just what I did." Lamar, I started and put them on DVDs, and that's what you can find at Betty's Place, as well as, I think it's Phase and Fashion Barbershop, and Fruits of the Garden. You can get copies of the DVD, The Word on the Street. And what it is that I'm doing the same thing I did when I was out here on WGOV and on the sister station, I guess WJEM years ago. So I'm asking everybody to get your hands on a copy of The Word on the Street. My goal, and Brother Rhymes wants you informed. I want all the pastors, I want all of the ministers and the bishops and imams in Islam and the rabbis and you in Judaism. I want everybody to come together and understand that we are one people. And as long as we are separated and divided, we cannot move forward. We got to unite and connect. I am saddened, my beautiful brother Lamar, by what I heard out here at the radio station. And I'm just hoping and I'm praying that people will rely on our law enforcement and the justice system to run its course in that. And I'm asking you all to trust in the system. The system have worked for us. And you may not get the word like you may think you want to receive it, nor when you want to receive it. But I assure you, I still have confidence in the justice system and the legal system here in Valdosta and South County. So let's keep our heads together. Let's keep our community intact. Let's do what is right, because we have a long line of doing what is right. And let us not deviate from what our mothers and fathers and grandmothers taught us. And Dr. King is the nonviolent route, because in the end, it will always win. One other thing now, the reason I'm so thrilled about what may happen here at G95, and the reason why I'm out here this morning, is to let you know that we have had a lot of things happening since I was behind this mic, Lamar, and a lot of things you all don't know about. You may not know that the Martin Luther King Monument had damage on it. We've got that fixed. We've got that repaired. A lot of the concrete busted up. You may not know that Section 3, which is federal funds coming into this community for the low, underprivileged, and disconnected families in our community. Mr. John Robinson and myself have worked to open doors, and now black African Americans and poor white people are in the Hudson Docket area working. Drive through and look. That came about because we took a stand. So now some of those hundreds of thousands of dollars will come back into our community, and we've had meetings and committees come together to try to put a dent and a curve in crime. Well, until we get jobs on our mind, we're going to continue to commit the crimes. And so what has happened is that with the help of Larry Hanson, the help with Stalvey and Mr. Barber and the city manager and others, we are beginning to make a difference here in Valdosta when it comes down to federal funds coming into the community. And so what I want you all to understand, when the city council meeting come up, go visit. Ask your pastor to get involved and find out what's going on in your community. Now, this morning, I talked to the owner of this station, and what made me feel so good about her is that she have a burning inside of her to try to get more information to the general public. And so we just gonna put a pin in that, and we're gonna see what happens on that. But there's one thing about it, I'm always committed to keeping you informed. And again, before I close this out, because I know how to get behind the mic and I know how to relinquish the mic, I want to say this to my beautiful brother, Lamar. It's very seldom that I come out here and I cannot get on the radio. And I appreciate that professionalism about this brother. I'm so happy that WGOV, when I was a little child, I just told the owner a few minutes ago, when I was a little boy, we heard Herman Smith out here crying out and talking about Fargo. And you know, Lamar, I still have tapes when I recorded out here with Herman Smith, and I just sit back and listen to him sometimes. I remember the brothers, he would tell me behind the mic, sometimes he'd say, can you read over this for me? I never will forget that. Right. And I would read it over one time. He said, well, what's that one thing right there? And I would tell him that, and he said, I got it now. I got it now. And true enough, he did. So we're going to back out of here, but I want you all to know once again, for you who haven't heard me on the radio in a long time, listen, I'm just as active. In fact, I'm more active now than I was when I was on the radio. I've been to Atlanta on TV's up there 4 times. Y'all don't know nothing about that. We have been to, oh yeah, we've given tours down the Rosewood, by the way. We've been doing work down in Rosewood. In fact, when you all travel down the Rosewood, the famous psychologist Marvin Dunn owned 5 acres of land down there. He owned the old railroad station. And they are busy working down there. I was over there last year, January, beginning of last year, and they had a meeting, and most of the white investors came to contribute to him and trying to rebuild and make a historic park out of Rosewood. And I got a call from somebody in Orlando, Florida, Orlando University, and said, Brother Rhynes, will you give us a tour? And so they had some college students. I called Brother John Robinson, and we traveled down there. Y'all know y'all don't give me no money, so I traveled down there with them, took the students down there, and once again, guess what, y'all? Go to Boston G.B.R. You can see that too. You see, there's very little in Brother Rhynes' life that is secret. I want everybody. I'm like Jesus. I'm like Jehovah or El Shaddai or Elohim. Whatever holy name you want to call God, but Brother Rhynes is there. But let me tell you what they all said and believed in. I have no respect of persons. That's what God said. And if God has no respect of a person, why should I have? And then I want to say this to my beautiful people who may be on the wrong side of history. Look, in your process of journeying through this life, I want you to do something. Remember one thing. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Yeah. Other words, want for your neighbor that which you want to have for yourself. That means, Harvey, if you drive a Cadillac, you ought to want your neighbor to have a Cadillac. If you're a pastor and you own $1 million house, you should want every congregation, every member in your congregation to have a $1 million house just like you. Look at here, Lamar. Anything you got before we close out?
That's about it, my brother. I thank you for coming by and passing those great words along to us there. And we'll be hearing from you.
Okay, yeah, we sure will. And once again, to all my radio listeners, if you're a Muslim, assalamu alaikum, to all the Jews, shalom, to all the Christians, bye bye gone. Look, get a copy of The Word on the Street. Go to Boston G.B.R. on YouTube, or just call me 229-251-8645, because we're going to rock the boat. We're not going to turn the boat over. We're just going to rock it in the right direction. So keep on rocking and rocking until we get to the rock, king of the golden gates of heaven. Bye bye, we go. Okay.